What's up YouTube, Mellow here. As you can see from the screen, we are back with Zero Deck Profiles again. Still clearing the backlog of Set 2 stuff. But this is the final one now, and we are on to Vanquisher. Vanquisher's very fun deck. Came out obviously with start of Set 2, and really strong out the gate. Does get more support obviously down the line, but this is just the basic first set stuff. Let's see what it looks like. Starting up, we do run the starter that's the grade 3 one, grade 3 searcher. So literally Counterblast 1, tuck it into Soul, and oh, there we are, it took a bit to load. Counterblast 1, tuck it into your Soul, check top 5, add a grade 3 from there to your hand. Obviously, really good because obviously you want to ride Vanquisher as your grade 3, and with us running less grade 3s, this gives us an extra bit of consistency in finding the thing. Grade 1s, obviously, usual stride fodder, extra chance of finding the Vanquisher that we need, and discards for a grade 3 cost. Next up, obviously, is the counter-charging PGs. We counterblast a lot, so this is really useful. Counterblast, the counter-charging seal activates by having it when this activates and you've got another one in your drop zone, which is really not hard to pull off. Then next one up we run is 3 copies of grade 1 Vanquisher support. It's got the skill, GB1 skill of once per turn. When your opponent's unit is retired, if you've got a Vanguard with Vanquisher in its name, you can choose a card from your opponent's drop zone and then bind it. And then choose one of your rear guards and give it power plus 2000. The power plus 2000 doesn't matter that much. It's more about the binding the drop zone. More so against like the counter-charging PGs and Legion decks with their triggers. And just grade 3s in general against DP, honestly. Then obviously, the last card is the usual Narukami staple of Rising Phoenix, Soul Blast 2 to draw a card. It does have a bit here saying you can't use it in combination with Big Bang Knuckle Buster, but that honestly doesn't matter to us because we're not using it. Grade 2s, we are using one of the long-time staples of Narukami, 4 copies of Chatula. Chatura's got the skill of Vanguard Rearguard Circle that can't attack an opponent's rearguard. Rearguard Circle, when it attacks, it gets power plus 3000. And GB1 skill, when its unit attack hits, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, and choose a card in your opponent's drop zone and bind it. So extra draw power for the deck, binding from their drop, really good. 11k attack on its own, works really nicely with stand triggers, which we do actually run some. Then we run 3 copies of the Voltage Horn Dragon. Skill is GB1, when its unit attacks a Vanguard whilst being boosted, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguard. Sorry, it's sorry, just trying to remember which one the effect is. It's the bind one of your opponent's rearguards at random, prioritizing the back row, and then bind it. Really good card. Hang on, just double check. Double checking skill. That's the that's the binding skill. I honestly can't remember. I'll be blunt, I don't understand Japanese 100%, and I can't remember the skill. It's ages since I've been testing this deck. But it's more Retire Bind, which is really good for the deck. Then you run 4 copies of Saishin, who's Intercept Ignoring. Really good against the anti-retire stuff. Also lets you do 3 swings of the face whilst ignoring their rear guards where you need to. Then we finish up, we run 2 copies of the on-hit counter-charger. Ideally, this is our main grade 2 ride, but it's not that amazing, honestly. Then grade 3s, we run obviously 4 copies of the Big Bad Vanquisher. GB2 skill is, when your opponent's rearguard is retired, you can gain plus 3000 and a critical. And on stride, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards in the front row, retire it, and bind it. So obviously, on stride, retire bind is really good, because it obviously removes the intercepts. It's also got the basic on Strider skill of when placed on Vanguard Circle plus 3k. Then we do run 1 copy of Mr. Jaggy Shot. Skills I don't remember off the top of my head, I'll be blunt. But you don't use it, it's literally here just as a grade 3 scarf fodder. The main part of the grade 3 section, however, is this beautiful stand trigger. It's got the skill of GB1, when your opponent's unit is retired. You can return this card to your deck, draw a card, and then counter-charge 1. Which is honestly very easy to do in this deck. Obviously, put the stands back into the deck, gives you a high chance to trigger them. Drawing the card replaces herself, which is really good. all around good card. And then obviously run 4 heal triggers, which is staple. Then G-Zone, you can obviously run 4 conquests, but it's a clan event. I play these free to play, so I don't have 4 conquests. So for obviously filling up the spots, I've run 2 Cray Elementals. Obviously with set 3, you can put the Harmonix Messiah in the list. You've got, I would say you could put the Fighters Collection stuff in, but one's Noble based, so you're looking at Indra, and the other one is Big Bang Knucklebuster, which doesn't help either. So, fortunately, there are 2 Cray Elementals. We do run 4 copies of Zolan, whose skill is when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose retire one of your opponent's rear guards, prioritising the back row, and then bind 2 cards from their drop zone. It's a really good card. Then Conquest, the big bad boss unit of the deck. Skill is GB2 once per turn, and flip a copy of itself face up. Choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. Then choose your front row and they all gain power plus 5,000. So this has been obviously nerfed slightly from the TCG version where it was plus 5k for each face up rear guard in your opponent's front row. But this, it had to be nerfed just to make it a bit fairer 4-0. Honestly, it doesn't make much difference. It is still a very strong card. And is going to be a 2-of staple for a very long time in 0. But that is it for the deck, and I shall catch you guys back for the games. Alright, we are now back into the games. And we are against Link Jokers. So obviously this is set 3 format, so this is very much going to be Messiahs. You can tell that they're very, very much into it, because obviously the Ibuki skin and the sleeves, it seems. Okay. So, opening hand, not the best, because I don't want to run the Rising Phoenix, but we have got the grade 2 for the counter charge instantly for using the starter. Now my thoughts are, do I actually want to run the PG and then keep the Rising Phoenix or not? Looking at that, I'm actually going to go for it. Especially more for the fact of I've actually drawn an extra PG now. Oh, there are connection issues. But looking at hand, we're not in a bad spot. I haven't got a grade 3 yet, but when I've got the top 5 check for a grade 3, I've got the Soul Blast 2 draw to help me try and find a grade 3. We're not in too bad of a spot yet. Oh, their connection's bad, their connection's bad. But, yep, there we go, they've timed out again. If this carries up, I will obviously skip this game and go into another one. So, if you're on stream, you might not hear this. Not on stream. If you're on the YouTube side, you might not hear this part. Because if I've cut it, I've cut it. And I'm not going to put it in. Oh, he's reappeared. Never mind, you are going to hear my lovely ramblings. So, Whiffed Heal trigger for me is really good. Great. I'd have liked to have seen that in my opening hand, but oh well. We do have a Jaggy shot now, so we have got a grade 3 if need be. And we can find out together what he actually does. Alright. Skill. Cat +1, target and soul. Checks on 5. Never mind, we aren't finding what it does, because I found the Vanquisher. And then Soul Blast 2 to draw a card, because that's really good. And we've also got RPG instantly in there, ready for counter charging with instant straight away. And we hit draw trigger into a heal, which is really strong. Honestly, looking at my hand, we're in a very strong position board wise. Once we get past the whole automated stuff, I can bring my hand up. Yeah, there we go. So I've got the Tritura to instantly start binding stuff. The Sires as a whole don't do much to me, because obviously they've been nerfed to the point of they unlock at the start of my battle phase, which doesn't phase me one bit. So obviously we are going to ride into Mr. Vanquisher. I'm going to call the Voltage Horn down because I don't want to leave myself with no intercepts. But that's something I can still work with on their turn. They get defensive push them to 19, but it doesn't matter because this is literally where the grade 3 skill comes in beautifully. of the plus 5k. Every heal on top. So we're to 1, they're to 3, which is really strong position. They lost 2 heals and a PG now. We're also at the point of he's filling up his drop zone nicely for me to start binding. Yes, they don't Legion in Link Jokers, but it's still nice to remove resources out of their way. It's an XLX Messiah. So he's going to try and use the crit to gain early pressure against me, which I'm fine with. There's no Waking Messiah. Is it Waking? That's fine. And war cards. These are all fine. He's literally going to be attacking, unlocking and unlocking and doing all this mid-battle phase. Yep, now because he's done that, he's locked K plus 4k, he can now use his other grade 1 to lock itself, countercharge. But it's more the fact that he's now got a column that can't hit. Oh no, there's a 12k attack, is it? Okay, fair enough. We are going straight to 5 it seems. But I do want to get rid of some of that back row, because that's what's causing some issues that I'm not happy with. Obviously, he'll unlock his entire back row, so he gains his crit. He can then use start skill to grab himself an alter ego for striding with next turn, which I'm fine with. First check, nothing. Second check, nothing. Third check, nothing. So we are on the back foot now, but I'm not too scared for the fact that I'm still in a very strong position. Ooh, the stand trigger. That's very nice. Not going to do that. We're going to stride into you. Next time, he's more likely going to be big crunching me. I do have to be careful. I'm not in the strongest. Because the more I think about it, I'm not amazingly well off. Just thinking what I actually want to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop you here, and you here. Sacrifice this hit in the Vanguard. First check, nothing. Second check, draw trigger into a stand. We'll give power this side, because I need this to hit 21 still. Draw trigger into another stand. I'd like to have seen some heals instead of all those draws. Then obviously this will swing in. Beautiful, the PG's going away is really good. Obviously, Cat Blast, draw, and bind the heal. And then this goes in. Use your skill. So yep, it's a random priority with the back row, and we'll remove you and you. Which then activates my stand trigger to return it back to deck. Counter charge and hit you in the face. So our next turn is obviously relying on what's in his hand if we get to live this turn or not. But the early force of the crit did actually hurt more than I hoped it would. Especially the fact of we're not actually seeing any heals yet. We've seen the one heal withdrawn and the one heal we got early game, which was good. Oh, we are going to Exelix. Okay, we're going back into Amnesty, not Exelix. Exelix isn't out yet. So, okay, he's doing that. That's fine. Has he got to wait and lock my other front row? Because if not, I'm in a good position. Okay, so he's got his counter charger. So if you've got no way to deal with this, I'm gonna go. Never mind. He's got a way to deal with it. Yep, so that's going to take my heal guard. The other side's going to take my PG. And unless I can double heal, well, we've lost. That'll lock, and he'll lock one on my back row. None of this actually causes me any issues, though. So if I do end up double healing, I end up winning. Which, to me, win-win there. Yep, so obviously unlocks everything. First check PG. Second check draw trigger. Third check, nothing. Obviously, we do need double heal here, which is very unlikely with only 2 heals left in a 12-card deck. Yep, no heal, so I shall see you guys back for game 2. Alright, so we are into game 2 and we've got Gear Chronicle. Okay. This is more likely going to be just the basics. Ragnar Clark with 1 epoch for the multi-attack because it's there. Alright, so returning the double stands, keep that there and that. See what we grind to. Right, that's fixed it slightly. What I'll do is I'll ride up the grade 1 supporting unit and keep the stride fodder so I've got stride options available. The Vulture on top deck is really nice as well because it means I can keep back the Shiden. If I said Saishin in the deck profile, I apologise. But I do mean Shiden. Alright, so they ride Gigi, which is really good. Okay. Another play I can do if I do end up missing the Vanquisher off the starter search is use grade 3 to try and find him. We've now got extra Voltage Horn to discard as well, which is really good. Alright, tuck you in. 3. Hey, we found a Vanquisher. And battle phase, just swing straight in. Whiffed heal, beautiful. Just keep doing this, buddy. You're very much helping me. Yep, so you rise the counter charger, which obviously is... Oh, crits. Lovely. I'm going to 3. EG gone. That gone. Jatura. If only you weren't GB restricted. I'm just going to be somewhat greedy. Because I do need to play catch up a little bit. Swing like this. I hope he doesn't get defensive. Whiffed heal's fine. Just got to pray that we actually get a trigger off 2 checks. Which we don't. Never mind. I think today's just the day of me getting punished. That's the honest response. I think we're just going to be punished today. He misses Chrono Jet. Interesting. That's somewhat good for us. And he doesn't stride either, which is even better. He's forcing the Legion early. That's what he's up to. Okay, he wants to end the game quickly. Okay. It's smart for him to go into the Legion that quickly, but it doesn't make much difference to me. I'll just retire behind the GG anyway. Yep, there's a heal trigger, so that literally makes his attacks not mean much to me. Crit, we are going to 5, never mind. And draw, well, stuff we can bind at least. There's stuff in there now we can bind, so we can work with it. Draw trigger. I'm actually going to have to play it somewhat differently because I do want to actually discard 1, 2, because he's not got intercepts at this point. Because I want the booster, so I need to keep the stride fodder back. We are going to retire bind. Cool. Cool. And cool. Half phase. Swing this in first. Hits a defensive. I think that's just the story of my life today. Hit defensive dot deck. Remove the crit trigger because they're bloody annoying. Swing with this. First check, draw trigger. That's good. Second check, nothing. Third check, nothing. Yes, we actually hit what I wanted and bind the other two. This side now can't hit though, but he's on 4. For him to actually be able to remove an intercept, he's got to go right off into Chrono Jet, which defeats the whole point of him actually legioning in the first place. Yep, so Fate Rider's going to spin that into an intercept, which is fine. That's not going to activate because you're not a Chrono Jet Vanguard. Which I think he's just going to realise. So yeah, that takes out that. That takes out that. Swings in. First check's a crit. That's fine. Second check's a heal. That's fine. Third check's nothing. And gets met by the PG. So stand and draw, hopefully grade 3 / stride fodder. Beautiful. We're now going to stride into Mr. Conquest. This is grade 2. We'll retire bind you. We're then going to plop you here. Plop you here for all it's worth. Your intercept's going to get blocked, but it's not going to matter because it lasts 2 seconds. 10k to the 5k to the front row. Oh, I forgot to put the stand trigger down, so that was my own misplay. Should have played stand trigger first and then gone back to deck, give me a higher chance to stand to the rear guard. Cat loss 1. Draw a heal trigger. That actually might keep us in the game though, so that's not too bad. And we'll get rid of your heal, but just in case you Legion again. Use that to take that out. Force a heal from hand. First check stand, beautiful. Heal, even better. Force the PG. And then Chichura's coming in for another swing. Take out another PG. So obviously you've now got double heal in hand. We've got 2 spaces to play with. It's got space to play with the damage zone. We're honestly in a very strong position. Next turn, if we get to our next turn, however, it's not looking amazing. But we've got the shield in hand to play with, so we can still do swings at face. Not really riding, but striding. More likely going to be a Ragnar Clock. Yep. I think we're out of heals. 2 in deck with 2 in hand. Yep, we are out of heals. So we are about to lose, unfortunately. Unless he actually doesn't use Ragnarok skill. But no, unfortunately I can't deal with defensive dot turn every single turn that it actually mattered. Yep, there we go. Bye, we lose. Sad trigger. Like, you could technically count this as a misplay, not returning the stand back to deck, but not much we can do about it. I shall see you back again in a minute. So those were the games. Bit unfortunate, because obviously both came down to lack of defensives on my side, plenty of defensives on the opponent's side. But not much I can do about that, unfortunately. The other options obviously you can do with this deck, which obviously I've not invested into due to the fact of not owning the cards, is you can go with the Dragonic cards with Vermilion slots instead of your stands and your one-off draw. But A, you open yourself up to the weaknesses of facing against Narukami, and B, it's a lot to actually invest into it as a free-to-play player, so you might not guarantee yourself for it. But that's all we've got time for in this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like, comment, subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.